know. Just let me know. So let's start off then again. Morning. Feet underneath hips. Shoulders are back and down. Discombobulating. I'll come up one pass. I'm going at 100 miles an hour. Let's take a breath in. Shoulders back and down. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Out. Same again. Deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. 2 more. Deep breath in. Really try and fill the lungs up with as much oxygen as you can. And then on that exhale, try and completely empty your lungs. One more time, relax the shoulders. Exhale. Placing your hands onto the hips. Let's look for our neutral spine this morning. So just tipping the pelvis under, just turn sideways. See better. Tucking the pelvis under, tipping it back. It's really high up for you today. Yeah, right hand down. I don't feel like I'm on stilts today. I don't normally feel this high up. Rocking through. So if you think, when you've got that pelvis tucked all the way under, think of that as your point A. And then as you come back through, your point C, and your neutral spine, it's different for everyone, is your point B. So it's that comfortable point in the middle somewhere between A and C, where you can feel that connection in the tummy, you feel a bit of gain going on around here and here. Okay, everything's nice and neutral. You're not straining or doing anything uncomfortable. The knees are relaxed. There you go, and then just take some nice big shoulder rolls. Just taking a nice deep breath in as you lift them up towards the ears. Exhale to roll them back. Really open up through the chest. Imagine you're trying to squeeze them back in towards the wall. Rattling out. And rolling them back the other way. Using that, yeah. And then we're just going to start to make a big circle with those arms, taking your time. So when you get to here, try not to let the shoulders bunch up, okay? So we're going to keep them down and the arms are coming all the way over. Deep breath in, lifting up. Exhale, coming forward. And then we're going to take it back the other way. Same thing again, relax the shoulders away from the ears, lift up, still in that neutral spine. Let the knees relax. Any tension, just leave your body this morning. This time, when you come up, hold it at the top. Palms are facing, take the fingertips nice and long. The shoulders are still pulling down away from the ear. You're still pulling up through that belly. Just take a lean over to the right. Then the left, and you're just going to sway in the breeze like a tree this morning, or an obscene amount of lips. Pulling up through that centre. Try to keep the hips nice and still, facing forward. You'll think actually daffodils blow nicely in the breeze, don't they? Listen, the daffodils this morning. One more each side. Back up into centre, reaching those hands nice and long, fingertips to the ceiling, just lifting up off of the heels, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Pull up through that centre, try and stabilise the weight distribution across those feet. We're going to just do this a bit quicker than last week. So you're going to lower the heels and then lift back up. Lower the heels, lift back up each time, just reaching that little bit taller. So we're warming up through the feet, through the ankles, and the calves. Finding our balance this morning. Reaching his fingers nice and tall. We've got 2 more. Last one. And hold it down. I'm going to turn so you can see. You're just going to bring the arms over, tuck that chin into chest. Keeping the feet under the hips, soften the knees, walk the hands down the leg. Keeping that chin tucked in. Now as you come back up, you're going to hollow out through that belly, so imagine you're putting your belly button into your spine. You tuck the tailbone under, and you roll your way back up. Keeping that chin tucked in towards your chest. Taking the fingertips up the body, reach nice and tall. Deep breath in, and then fold the hands over, tucking that chin back into chest. Walk your way down. Moving with your own breath this morning, tucking that pelvis under, and rolling up. Reaching those fingertips nice and long. So imagine you've got a tennis ball between your chin and your chest, and you're trying to keep hold of it as you roll your way down. And then you're rounding that back off, engaging that tummy, pulling up, tucking your pelvis back under. We're going to go for just one more gang, scooping those hands over, tucking that chin in. This time then you roll back up, bring the hands all the way up the body. We're going to come back into our swaying daffodils, over to the side. Oh, keeping the shoulders now away from the ears. The body's now a little bit more awake. Ready for some movement this morning. Come back up into the center. Bring the arms down in front of the chest, opening them out, and just take a rotation over the shoulders. So when you're here, we're keeping the hips facing forward, so all the movement comes from the center of your spine, so your hips don't follow. So I want you to think about keeping it facing me, so you really need to keep that neutral spine this morning. Keep that engagement through the tummy, through the bottom. Keep those hips forward. Lovely. You're going to do one more each side. Keeping the feet underneath the hips. Come back to face me. Lower the arms down. Lifting up through the right leg. Placing down. Through the left. And down. Lovely stuff. Pulling up through that tummy. Trying to get that weight evenly distributed on that supporting foot. Relax the supporting knee so it's not locking back to compromise that balance. Still engaging through that tummy, pulling up through your center. And we're going to do one more on each side. Place the foot back down. Come to the end of your mat. You can roll down or just crawl onto the floor. I don't really mind. Just take your time getting down onto the floor. Walk the hands out underneath the shoulders. Bring the knees down underneath the hips. So whilst we're here, let's just talk about neutral spine again. So if you think your point A and your point C, finding, just tipping the pelvis under, rolling it back out. And we're going to come back in and find your neutral spine, which is that point B in the centre of those two ranges. So we're flattening out through the back, the tummy's lifted, we're not sagging through the spine. You're going to keep that connection as you come down to your elbows. The knees are still underneath the hips. With the right leg, we're going to take it just out along the floor. Now you have the choice to keep it nice and low, or you can come up in line with that hip. Imagine I'm pulling your leg away from you, so it's opening up through the front of your hip. And you're going to tap the toe down, and then come back up. Your supporting leg stays square to the floor, so you're not leaning over that thigh, alright? So everything stays parallel to the mat. And we're lifting up, just in nice alignment with your hip. Keep pulling up through that tummy so the spine doesn't sag. The eye line is just between the hands so the head's not tipping up. We've got just two more here. You're going to enjoy this morning. Come back up in line with that hip. And then you're going to take the leg out to the side and start to cross it over to wag your tails. We've done this the last couple of weeks for those that have been here. And we're still trying to keep pulling up through that tummy, keeping that control on that supporting leg. It's not rolling around from side to side. Lovely again. And then make that your last one. Bring the leg back out in line with the hip. Again, think of me pulling that leg away from you. And you're going to start to make small circles. You're going to have really warm tushies today, by the way. And your inner thighs are going to be very awake. And then taking the circle back the other way. Still looking at that supporting leg, making sure that you're not leaning over to overcompensate. And then up through that tummy. And then bring the knee back down under the hip. Come off the upper body. Pull back into child's pose. Take the fingertips nice and long and just wiggle yourself down. Find a comfortable position. Try to encourage that bottom down towards the heels. And then coming back up. Okay, we're going to do the other leg. Ready? So come back down onto those elbows. Still thinking about your neutral spine, so watch for that sag pull up through the tummy. You're like an iron rod with one leg down. Alright? Take the left leg long. Imagine I'm pulling it away from you, so it opens up through that hip. Make sure that supporting knee is under the other hip. And coming just around your waist. And tapping down off of the floor. If, like me, you haven't got the best awareness of where your limbs are, it doesn't matter if that leg's coming up a little bit higher than your waist, just as long as it's coming up. Alright? And you've got that connection in the bottom. And you're keeping everything nice and stable. And the more you lengthen that leg away, the more you're just going to take the weight out of those shoulders. But we're strengthening through them whilst we're in this position. You've got just two more here. And then bring that leg back up in line with that hip. Taking it out to the side. And starting to wag that tail all the way across. Good again. So still pulling up through that tummy. Protect your lower backs. Everything stays nice and stable in the centre. Make sure that knee's under the hip. And bringing the leg back into the centre, starting to make those circles. Just checking where that supporting leg is. Make sure that weight's not shifting over. And then taking those circles back the other way. And bring the leg back in, pull yourself back. This time take the knees to the outside of the mat. Reaching away. And just walk the hands to me at the front of the room so they come over to the side. One hand onto the other. And then walking them to the back of the room. Again, just bringing the other hand one onto the other. Walk the hands back in the centre. Try and encourage that chest down a little bit more into the floor, wiggling down. Find a comfortable spot. And then lift that chest, come up onto the hands, bring those knees just behind the hips. Your eyeline is just forward of your mat, and you're just going to gently lower yourself down, bringing the elbows back in line with the ribs. The chest comes down between the hands. Turn your toes out. Bring the forearms either side of the face, and then lift up through that chest. Hold it there, take a stretch, opening up all through the front of the abdominals, mobilizing the lower back, and then lowering back down, keeping the forehead parallel to the floor. This time we take a deep breath in and we lift up, bringing the arms up with us, in line with those shoulders, and exhale to lower. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale to lower. Keep that going. So the forehead stays parallel to the floor. We don't tip the head up. There's no flexion through the neck. And we're using the muscles in the bottom and the thighs to protect the lower part of the back as we're lifting up off of the floor. If there is any pain or discomfort in the lower back, just bring the forearms back down onto the floor, and just like with our stretch, so you're pushing yourself up. And you've got that little extra support if you need it, and keep those here today. It's entirely up to you. It is your workout, not mine. Do what feels good for you. We're going to do just 2 more. The last one. And lower it back down. Bring the hands just next to the chest. Lift yourself up. Come back onto all fours and walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, roll the spine up towards the ceiling, tuck chin into chest. Inhale, coming back through, lifting the chin, rising up. Exhale, tucking that tailbone under, rolling the spine. Inhale, coming back through. Good go. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale, coming back through. This time on your out breath, I want you to roll up and keep it there. See if you can really open up that space between your shoulder blades. Tucking that chin right in, lengthening through the neck and all the way down the spine. Take a few long calming breaths here. And come back into neutral. Walk the hands back out. Drop the hips, just lower them down as you softly bring yourself down back onto the mat. This time we're going to take the hands along. And we're going to start to lift up through the chest, building up towards our swimmer. Now you've got the option at any point here to come back to your back extensions, okay? Otherwise we're going to come up, alternating arm and leg, lifting up through the chest. The hip lifts rather than the knee, so the thigh starts to come up off of the floor and we lower down. Deep breath in, pull up through that, bring that shoulder blade back and away, and lower. Breathing in to lift, so that expanding diaphragm brings you up off of the mat, and then exhale to lower. If you're feeling really comfortable here today, and you have done Pilates before, and you feel good that there's nothing going on uncomfortable in that lower back, we're going to come up to a full swimmer. So lifting up the chest and the legs, and we come in the palms are facing, the forehead stays down towards the mat, so we're not flexing that neck. We're engaging the pelvic floor, keeping the pelvis pressed down into the mat so the hips aren't lifting. Keeping that going. Reach those arms nice and long. Keep the eye line down. 4, 3, 2, and release. Lowering down. Well done here. Roll onto your sides for me. Whew. We're moving quickly today. Okay, so we're laying with the arm out so everything stays neutral. And we're not putting any extra pressure through that top shoulder. The hips are stacked one on top of the other. So you've got a straight line from shoulder, hip to tip. In a little dosage, just bring those legs forward by about 45 degrees and you feel a little bit more comfortable on that back. Hips are stacked so we don't roll back onto the bottom. So keep them lifted up. Flex your feet. So you're pushing your heels away. You're starting to feel those legs trying to lift up off of the floor. Your top leg's going to come up just above your hip. Don't go too high because your bottom leg's going to come up to meet it. Alright, so pulling through that belly, get that stability, and then lifting that. That's it. So we're going right into the inner thighs now, team. We warmed them up on all fours. Now we're going to see what they can do. Bringing them up, that's it. So I'm still pulling your legs away from you. If you imagine as those heels push away, lengthening your legs further. Giving them a bit of a stretch whilst you're there. Lovely going. Nice little leg sequence. We've got two more like this. This time as you bring that leg up, hold it there. Point your toes, because you're going to make circles with the lower leg. So we're not doing this, all right? It's still coming from that hip, just like when we were on all fours. So you're really starting to rely on the inner thigh muscle to lift up, start to work into the outside of that hip, and then you're going to take the circle back the other way. Ooh, there we go, we've got some scales. And then bring both legs up together, flex those feet, lift them up, holding it here, keeping them lifted. Feel that warmth inside your thighs. It's nothing that it shouldn't be, it's just your muscles working. And lower the legs back down. Oh, that was nice. Bring the heel to the bottom, whoop, knees together. That's it, go. Just open that chest up by bringing the shoulder back a little bit more. The knees are together, the hips pushing forward. And release. So if we do one side, we have to do the other. So let's change over. Just slowly bring yourselves up. Come over onto your other side. Lay yourself nice and long. Find that nice neutral position. Shoulder, hip and tip. Hips are stacked. Head is relaxed. There's no tension around the neck or the upper body. Flexing those feet. Whoop, push. I've got no balance this morning. Pushing those heels away. Lifting that top leg up. And then bringing your bottom leg up to meet with it. And coming back down. Lovely. Really nice team. Don't forget to use your breath. Take that deep breath in as you lift that leg. Exhale to lower. We've got just two more. Keeping that leg up. Point the toes. Start to make that circle with the underneath leg. Still pulling in through that tummy. And then taking the circles back the other way. Keep nice and stable in that center. And then flex the feet, lifting both legs together. Close the thighs, that's it. Lengthen them a little bit more. Imagine them pulling them away from you. Whew. And lower them down. Well done. Bring your heel to the bottom. Knees together, hip forward. Open up that shoulder. Rolling it back. That's it again. How are we feeling? You alright? Stunned silence, I'll take it. Of course you're okay. Lovely stuff. Let go of that leg, rolling onto your back leg again. Oh. So, Feet are close to the bottom. And we're going to come into our shoulder bridge. So start off with, we're just going to come up to our shoulder blades, tucking that tailbone under, rolling your way up, the knees are parallel to the ceiling, the heels stay down on the floor. We're lifting up, bringing the hips up, and then we're going to just hollow out again, finding that space in your tummy between your sort of rib cage and your pelvis, hollowing that space out like you're doing up a belt around your waist. Okay, and then you roll it down, reconnecting your spine, one vertebrae at a time with the mat. So the lower part of the back, and then the bottom come down last. Take your time with these so you can really think about finding that connection as you roll back down with that spine. It's all about finding that control and that spine placement as you come down. More often than not, we sort of just drop down. We get to sort of a certain point where the top of the back's come down and everyone leaves the centre of the spine up and just brings the bum down. Okay, then we're going to roll everything down. This time as you roll up, take a deep breath in, bring the arms up over the head, and rolling up. Exhale, rolling back down. Inhale, bring the arms back down next to the body. Take out breath. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, arms are going to come overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale, rolling back down. And keep the arms there. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, rolling back down. So just lengthen that spine a little bit more by taking the arms up above the head. Keep that going. Using that breath, breathing in nice and deep, filling your lungs up with oxygen as you roll up. And then completely emptying the lungs on that out breath as you roll your way back down. Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. We're going to do just one more. Rolling back down, taking your time to reconnect with the floor. Take the arms nice and wide, palms facing up. You're going to roll your knees to me at the front of the room. Take the eyeliner away to the fingertips away from the knees. Sometimes you wonder if this fight is worthwhile. And then roll the knees all the way over to the back of the room, away from me. And taking the eyeliner away from the knees to the other hand. Coming back into the centre. Bring the hands down next to the body, use them for help to get up. Just tuck that chin into chest and just roll yourself up off of the floor. Bring yourself up into a nice tall posture. Shoulders are back and down. We're going to take the arms nice and tall. Reaching the fingertips nice and long, and then just round off that back, tuck your chin into chest. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. You follow that tummy out again. And we're rolling just halfway down this morning, not the whole way. And then pulling back up, lifting, rising up nice and tall. In breath, hollow out that tummy. Bring the shoulders away from the ears as you roll halfway down. Exhale, lifting up. This time as you roll down, you're going to just bring the elbow back out in line with the rib cage, looking over that shoulder. Do not roll up, you've got to do the other side. Coming back, then reach all the way up. You have the option here to do this with your feet lifted off of the floor as a progression. So if you want to come up, reach nice and tall. Lift the feet up off of the floor into tabletop, rolling out. Starting to have that extra challenge now. Lifting all the way up, place the feet back down. And again, rolling down. Good day. So you've got both options to choose from. Do what feels right for you today. It's your class, not mine. And you're going to go for just one more. Choose your level. Push yourself. See what your body can do for you today. Be grateful that you're here and that you can do it. Taking this time to just remobilize, re-engage. Let the knees soften and fold yourself all the way over to your feet. Relax down over those legs, let the head go heavy. Let the knees drop, turn the soles into meat if you like. We're just taking some long calming breaths whilst we're here.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, let me see what spring is like.
And then slowly roll yourselves back up. Bring the feet back in next to you. Next to you? In line with your hips. You're going to roll yourself just halfway down. Keeping the arms nice and long, extending the fingertips now. So you've got that connection in the tummy. Alright, and your fingertips are really long, so you're not paddling around. Okay, all the control through the shoulders. That progression again is to bring the feet up off of the mat. You're going to take the arms nice and long. And again, if you want to lengthen the legs away, making that nice V, sort of hollowed out into that bowl. The arms are still long, the thighs are squeezing together. You've got about 20 more. Get those arms nice and long, keep it strong. And place the feet back down. Roll yourself down, take a full body stretch. Ooh, that felt good. Reach the fingertips long, the toes long. And just imagine you're kind of just walking your hips away. So with each foot, just tipping away, opening up all the space through the front here. Feeling it's getting longer, lengthening through the torso. So your hips are just moving ever so slightly. And then bring everything in for a hug. Bring those legs into tabletop, so the knees are sitting just over the hips again. You've got a nice 90-degree angle from hip, knee to heel. We're just going to take the arms nice and wide. Now I'm just going to give you a beginner level for this, so you can just tap each individual toe down. And what we're thinking about is keeping that spine in neutral whilst we're here. So the spine's not lifting up off of the mat. The rib cage stays nice and soft, so all the work is coming from here. And the movement is coming from your hip rather than from your knee. We don't bend the knee any further. There's no movement there at all the movement. To build this up, we're going to bring both legs down together. Tapping them down. Coming back up. Switching on all the muscles in the bottom, as well as the front of that belly. Keep yourself in neutral. Stop the spine lifting up off of the mat. And also to provide extra stability to the front hip flexors too, using those transverse abdomini. We've got just 2 more. Whew. 1 more. Come back up into tabletop. You're going to roll your knees to meet the front of the room and bring the backhand over to follow. So you close your door, rolling all the way over, and you're going to keep the space between your legs. So imagine you've got a watermelon between your thighs, and then you're going to open the door back up. Come back just into centre, and you're going to do the same thing again. Towards me at the front of the room, close that door, bringing the arm over in sync with those legs, pulling through that tummy, find that connection as you open back up. Rolling over, close the door, deep breath in, exhale to open. One more on this side. Try and keep those heels up if you can, in line with those knees. Come back into centre. Woo. Hold it there. You're going to come back into those toe taps. Single or double, it's entirely up to you. Still keeping your spine neutral. You're going to have warm tummies too today. When you go home, don't forget to breathe. And the knees come up just in line with those hips. They don't come any closer. We've got one more here. And then this time you're going to close your door away from me to the back of the room. Coming over, still with your watermelon between those thighs. Keeping that connection the whole way over so you don't just fall over to the side. And opening back up. Using your breath, move through it. Take that deep inhalation as you roll over. Exhale to open. Taking your time to really control the movement as you go. Trying to keep those heels up in line with your knees, and your knees just over your hips rather than towards the belly button. You've only got one more. Woo. Make that your last one. Once you're done, bring those knees in for a hug. Oh. Well done, team. We come into the nice, relaxing part of the session. Have a good old stretch before I send you off for the rest of the day. Place both feet down on the mat. Let's just take the right leg up to the ceiling. Nice and long, lengthening all down the back of that leg. It doesn't matter if your leg is here today, here, or somewhere up here. As long as you've got that nice stretch down the back of your leg, that's what we're looking for. If you're holding onto the leg, you don't hold around the joint, okay? So you hold either the back of the thigh or the calf, so you're not putting any pressure through your joints. You're going to take a nice long deep breath here. On the exhale, just flex the foot, lengthening that leg away a little bit more, pushing that heel away from you. Feel that stretch deepen. Take the left leg away if you can. It's entirely up to you. If it doesn't feel comfortable, you can keep it back on the floor. Point the toes and just take the legs slightly across the body. Bring the leg back into centre, slide the left leg back in, cross the right foot over the left knee, and open the right knee out. You can keep it here, or you can bring that left foot up off the floor, bringing that leg closer, and take the hands through the legs, using the elbow to just encourage that right knee open a little bit more. Place the hands down on the floor, and you're just going to roll your toes away towards the floor, bringing them as far over as you can. Roll back into centre. Place the left foot down, followed by the right. Take the left leg nice and long this time. Again, just holding the back of the thigh or the calf. Still using nice long deep breaths to relax the muscles into the stretch. Stretching should be enjoyable, not painful, okay? So only take it as far as it feels comfortable to go. You can feel the benefit of the stretch without putting unnecessary tension through the muscle. On your next out breath, flex the foot, driving that heel away, encouraging you to lengthen that leg a little bit more without locking behind the knee. Lengthen the right leg away if you can. Point the toes and just take the legs slightly across the body. Come back into centre, slide the right foot back in, cross the left foot over the right knee and just turn that knee up. You have the choice to stay here, or you can bring that right foot up and take the hands between the legs, taking hold of the back of the thigh and using the elbow to just encourage that knee open a little bit more if you can. Place the right foot back down on the floor, take the arms wide, just roll the foot over towards the floor. Roll yourself back onto the mat. Take the foot back down, take the legs long. And you're just going to roll over onto your fronts again, onto your bellies. Now you can do this with the single leg, which is what we did whilst we were on our sides. And just take a few seconds on each leg. Or you can bring both legs together, lifting up. And just try and lift that chest. If you're on a single leg, change in 3, 2, 1, onto the other leg. If you're on a double, you're going to hold this for a few more seconds. Still lifting that chest, sort of pushing those hands away and lengthening those quads a little bit more. And bring your chest and the legs down. Bring the hands next to the chest, lift yourself up onto all fours, knees are under the hips, hands under the shoulders, fingertips to the back of the room, and then you're going to thread your needle under that supporting arm, bring your shoulder and face down onto the floor. And pulling back up underneath that shoulder, changing side, reach the fingertips away, and then flip that needle underneath, dropping the shoulder and the cheek down onto the floor. Using that supporting hand, rotate that shoulder even further back. Coming back up onto all fours. Just turn yourselves around to the front, bring the feet round next to the body. Okay. So you're just going to place the right hand onto the ankles. The left arm's going to come up nice and tall, reaching those fingertips up. Take the eye line over towards your feet, reaching over. The arm is over your ear, okay? So you're still opening up all through that chest, lengthening all down the side of that body. Pulling back up, place the hand back down on the floor, change the legs over to the other side. Again, we're just going to place the left hand on those ankles, reaching up nice and tall. Take the fingertips long and then folding over, looking down towards your heels. The arms still over that ear rather than in front of the face. And pull the arm back down. You can cross your legs for this or have them out straight. I don't really mind. Just sit somehow that you feel comfortable. Still bringing the shoulders down over those ears, relaxing it off, and just take the chin to your chest. Take a nice long deep breath in here. And as you exhale, lift that chin. And slowly and carefully just take the head backwards. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly bring the chin back down towards the chest. Lightly place the fingertips, left and right, onto the back of the head. You're not going to put any tension through your head, you just roll the back. Keeping the elbows wide for now. Rolling over, drawing that chin deeper and deeper into the chest. Then bring those elbows in towards your temples. And allow a little bit more weight to sink into the back of that head. Moving these 4 long deep breaths here. To just open the space up in those vertebrae a little bit more this morning. Lengthening that neck a little bit more so you stand a little bit taller with more confidence, more pride and security today. Feeling accomplished, fortunate, and calm. And the next breath, you lift the head back up. Open all the way up through your chest, open the elbows out. Come back just over the shoulders, release the hands down. Take the feet round next to you and just roll up onto those knees. Tuck the toes underneath behind you. So you can just roll up onto those heels. Let everything sit down, all the weight sinking down into those heels. Tucking your head back under. On your next out breath, we're going to lengthen the legs and bring the heels down towards the floor. Let your whole body hang heavy here. Allowing tension left to just melt away out of the crown of your head into the floor. Anything you carried on you this morning, just leaving your body. Softening the knees and just rolling yourself back up slowly with purpose. Reconnecting your spine, one vertebra at a time. As we come back up, the shoulders come back and down. We feel restored and ready for the day. Take a nice deep breath in, bring the hands all the way up. Exhale to release. And again, breathing in. And release. This time as you come up, take a deep breath in. Keep the hands there, rise all the way back up onto the balls of those feet. Feel your balance restored. Reaching up a little bit further, a little bit taller. There we go. Well done again. Great work today. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed your Pilates session. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. See you later online. Ooh, kicking the camera and everything.